Welcome to Cyber Conversations, the show where it's okay to agree to disagree. Today, Bob and I are talking about Wonder Woman, released in 2017 and starring, I actually looked up how to pronounce her name. I always thought it was Gal Gadot. At first I thought it was Gal Gadot. Then I thought it was Gal Gadot. Apparently, you pronounce it Gal Gadot.
Interesting.
Apparently. I mean, I take that with a grain of salt, and if that is not the way to pronounce it, someone can let me know in the comments. But apparently, according to Google, that's how you pronounce her name, Gal Gadot. The movie also stars Chris Pine and a handful of even better actors.
Oh, Chris isn't that bad.
No, he's not that bad. He's just, well, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Overall, I like this movie more when I first saw it, which was in the theater when it was first released. Watching it, I watched it 2 days ago. It's not a bad movie. Yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad movie. It's just not a great movie. It's better than Suicide Squad. It's a lot better than Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad is Oscar worthy. Just kidding. I have to be transparent here. I did not watch Wonder Woman before we were doing this podcast, but I did watch it probably about a month ago. And I still like it as much as I did when I saw it in the theater. I thought it was, I think, arguably the best of the DCEU, the best movie next to
I would
Aquaman.
Agree. Aside from Zack Snyder's version of Justice League, this would be my favorite of the DCEU, which I guess is just showing how low of a bar I think it is. I'm not a hater. I mean, anyone who listened to the podcasts on Star Wars can tell you that. The DCEU just didn't work very well for me. And maybe it's because it was going on at a time when Marvel, it was in like their peak. Marvel was still in 2017, we were like ramping up for Infinity War.
Right.
So I was completely like Marvel, like everything about Marvel was good. And the DC movies there was no way that they could live up to that. But this one, like watching it, even back then, my first impression, but also 2 days ago when I watched it again, this is Captain America. It's the same movie as Captain America, the First Avenger. It's just replace Chris Evans with a woman, and you got the same freaking story.
But it's still following the comic book, for the most part, for Wonder Woman. And let's be real here. DC and Marvel go back and forth bastardizing their own versions of a similar character. I mean, that's just how it is. I think that I was going to say with what you were talking about with beefing up for Infinity War. I think that Wonder Woman came out as like a refreshing change, honestly, from what we had been seeing previous in terms of the DCEU. I think that it was refreshing. It was very popular. Obviously, it got very good reviews, and I think most people enjoyed it. And it had that vibe of that it was going to be a turning point, but it didn't really. But the movie itself, stands alone as being a very good movie.
I think that it's an okay movie. I just like watching it. It to me, it looks like Captain America in World War I with a hot girl instead of Chris Evans,
who was a hot guy, and Captain America,
a hot guy, a hot girl instead of a hot guy, and Captain America just did it better. It was a better movie. It was better quality and more interesting, and I just thought it was done better. Which is odd to say, too, because I do love the cast, aside from the main two people in Wonder Woman. My least favorite actors in Wonder Woman are the two heads, Gal Gadot and Chris Pine. I don't hate Chris Pine. I just think he's very handsome but bland. He plays every character exactly the same. He's not an actor because all he can do is play the same character. A little bit like Jack Nicholson. I know that people are going to hate me for this. I love watching Jack Nicholson, but I don't say he's a great actor because every single part he plays is exactly the same. He's playing Jack Nicholson. When he was the Joker, he was Jack Nicholson as the Joker. And every other part he plays is exactly the same. He's Jack Nicholson.
Well, yeah, you could say the same thing about Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds. So there's some where he's more subdued, Ryan Reynolds. Like The Proposal, where he just lets a little bit of out. Or you go full Deadpool, or it's just, wit and sarcasm like every other sentence.
And
but
Ryan Reynolds, I enjoy watching him, but I don't think he's a great actor. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I thought Chris Pine was pretty good. I thought Gal Gadot. I'm gonna pronounce
Gal
it.
Gadot.
Yes, I will look to you to say that properly.
Well,
I don't.
Okay.
Gal Gadot. Is that what we're saying?
Apparently, that's how you say it.
Are you sure you got that right? Because I don't want to do that the whole podcast, and then we're like, you said her name wrong.
Well, I don't know. Look on.
It's this. You know what? Gigi.
Look online at
Gigi is going to be the rest of the podcast. I'm not calling
her Gigi.
Why not? It's G and Gal, whatever.
Yeah,
anyway,
but it sounds like Zsa Zsa, and she's no Zsa Zsa.
Yes, right. I thought she did a good job. Pretty good job as Wonder Woman. I mean, she had the look and the appearance, and she played it her own way. And I thought Chris Pine, while I agree with you, I thought he was pretty good actually as Steve Trevor.
Oh yeah, I'm not
with
saying
that.
I don't mean to say he's not good as Steve Trevor. It's just that every single part he plays is the same. He is Steve Trevor. He is Captain Kirk. He is the guy
Jack
from Dungeons
Ryan
and Dragons.
Shadow Recruit.
Okay, he was in Dungeons and Dragons. They're all the same character. They're all the same.
I love Dungeons and Dragons. By the way.
It was a good movie. It was a good movie.
Great movie.
It's just Chris Pine is always the same. He's the hotshot who relies on his good looks because he's got nothing else. That's what Steve Trevor is. He's got nothing else. He doesn't even do much in this movie, considering he's supposed to be the hero. The only thing he really does is, commit suicide at the end for the greater good. He doesn't do anything. And that's the thing. He's always the same guy. That's why I don't think Jack Nicholson is a great actor. He's a lot of fun to watch, but I don't think he's a great actor. You want to know who I think is one of the best actors of all time? No one ever guesses this. John Lithgow.
John
Lithgow is one of the best actors I've ever seen in my life, because you can watch him in a movie where, like, Terms of Endearment, where he's a little nebbish guy who's, timid and afraid, and then watch him in Cliffhanger, and he's a terrorist and the biggest scumbag you've ever seen, and then watch him in Raising Cain, where he's a schizophrenic and completely, like, off the rails with different personalities. That is a good actor. Jack Nicholson plays everything like Jack Nicholson, and Chris Pine plays everything like Chris Pine.
I always thought John Lithgow was really good in Buckaroo Banzai.
But John Lithgow is good in everything, and I sound like I'm fanboying him. It's just, that's a guy who impresses me. You want a really good actor. John Lithgow, I think, may be one of the greatest of all time. Harrison Ford is an amazing actor because I've seen him in so many things.
Yeah.
And he plays things so different. In fact, the only thing that I've ever seen with Harrison Ford that I didn't like, and this is disappointing, is What Lies Beneath. I really wish I liked that movie more because I love it when an actor plays against type.
Oh yeah, that was his villain face.
He's always a good guy, except in that movie he was a villain, and unfortunately the movie sucked.
Yeah.
But, like, for those of you who like older movies, and I don't know, Bob, if you're familiar with him, Henry Fonda. Before our time, but he was the Harrison Ford of the baby boomers. He was always a good guy because of his handsome looks and his amazing eyes. And then he was in my favorite Western of all time, which is Once Upon a Time in the West. And he plays a bad guy, and not just any bad guy. The real, like, the scummiest of scumbags. In his first scene in the movie, he kills a 9-year-old kid. It's like nothing you would expect out of Henry Fonda. And he does it so well. That movie, like, immediately shot to the top. It's my favorite Western of all time. Nothing comes close. I was really disappointed with What Lies Beneath. We're completely off the rails. We're not even talking about Wonder Woman right now.
No, we're not.
I apologize.
So let's get back on track.
But that was my point. Chris Pine is good at what he does, which is playing Chris Pine.
Yeah. Well, I thought, since we're just running through the cast list is how we're starting out right now, I guess, is Robin Wright, the Princess Bride.
Oh, yeah. I was going to talk about her. Yeah. Everything she touches is gold. I love her.
Yeah,
because
awesome.
of the Princess Bride.
She kicked some serious ass in this movie.
The Princess Bride, Oh yeah, she did. She was wait, how do you say her name? And Antiope,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um
It was her aunt.
yeah.
Yeah. Wonder Princess
Yeah.
Diana.
Yeah, her aunt. But
Yeah.
yeah, also like the captain of the guard. And
Mm.
she is badass, but it's also Robin Wright.
Right.
And no matter what, no matter how tough
Right.
she is, no matter how tough she is, no matter what we call her, she will always be Buttercup to me. And if I ever
Well,
meet her, I'm not going to say anything from this movie. I am going to say as you wish.
yeah, exactly. Yes, indeed. Now you're fanboying big time.
Because saying anything else to her, inconceivable.
Exactly. Exactly. All right, now we're really going too far
Yeah.
off of this.
Sorry about that. Also, well, I did want to respond before what you were saying about Gal Gadot, though, which is I don't think she's a good actress. You were right in that she is right for the part in that she looks like Wonder Woman.
Well, she was a fresh face, and I think she did bring something to the role.
Yeah, a lot of monotone.
She had emotion added in there. I know. Watching it again, it was like, yeah, there was a little bit of that, but it's at the same time,
very little.
I think she brought quite. I think she brought some stuff to the role.
I didn't. I watched it and I kept waiting for her to do something, and she didn't do anything. I will say she looks the part because she is beautiful, and I like the fact that her military background makes her believable in her fight scenes, because she looks like she knows what she's doing in those fight scenes. But the woman speaks in monotone the whole freaking movie. Her only emotion that I got from the whole thing was when Steve Trevor died near the end of the movie, and she has her no moment. And the anguish there was so real that I actually was shocked that she was capable of anything other than saying, we have to get to the front lines. We have to stop Ares.
Well, she was a little more than that, boy, man.
No, she wasn't.
We're really going to get haters for the few people who end up listening to this particular podcast episode.
I don't mean to say, it's just I don't like her. She can't act. I don't like her as a person either, but that has nothing to do.
Let's stop here. Let's pause and run through the movie. So go ahead.
Okay. Well, I did want to talk about some of the other actors, but I guess we can get to them when
we
we
get to them.
Well, it starts with her as a little girl, which I'm wrong. It starts exactly like Captain America with the present day, and she sees the picture that was teased in Batman versus Superman. Bruce Wayne has sent her the photograph, the original, and now we go to the extended flashback, not unlike or exactly like Captain America: The First Avenger. So now we're, around the era of the Civil War. I guess it's a little before that because now she's a little girl. She wants to train. Her mother doesn't want her to train. She tells her the story about how she was sculpted from clay, which is directly out of the comics. I'm okay with that.
Yep.
And of course,
thank God you're okay with that, because I don't know what we would have done there.
Oh, right. Well, I'm just saying, like.
No, I got you. I got you.
Yeah, it was true to the comics there, and they're there to fight Ares, and they don't tell us this yet, but she's the god killer. But her mother tells her that it's this sword,
right?
And the sword is kept in this big protective thing with I don't know. It looks like it's there for to be revered or something. But it never seems like later on in the movie we find out that she was the god killer. We never learn anything about the sword, so why was it being so worshipped and protected?
Right, and I thought about that too. It was like they made a big deal about it, and her mom obviously knew that she herself was the god killer, so it was kind of like, why prep her up and why lead her to believe that it was the sword? I know the mom was hoping that it would never happen, but at the same time, you basically sent her into battle with this sword that had no magical powers or god-killing powers at all.
They tried to explain it as like, the more she knows, the easier it'll be for Ares to find her. What the freak did you think was going to happen? She's going after Ares.
But I'm sure Ares knew since she was a kid.
Yeah, but now that Diana knows, that's going to somehow make it worse. Now she would know that she's the god killer. In any case, I don't know, before she decided to tell her that she was the God Killer, why was the sword being so heavily protected? The sword is nothing. It's just a sword.
It could be that it could be as simple as that they were allowing all the Amazons living on the island to think that was, it could have been like a giant,
but they were pulling
gaslighting of the whole Amazon thing, going, look, we're protected. We have this magic sword. Everybody's okay. We're going to be okay. It could be. I don't know, but
I got the impression that everyone except Diana knew that she was the God Killer.
I don't know. I thought it was just the mom.
No one really talked about it.
I think it was just the mom and I got her aunt, Antiope.
Antiope. Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. I got the impression everyone knew, and just, everyone knew not to tell Diana, because God forbid. Even though when she did find out that she was the God Killer, she killed Ares.
Yes.
That's what they wanted.
Yeah. Well, during her training scene there at the beginning, she was using a lot of her power.
Yeah, she did the thing with the wrist.
She did her gauntlet thing, and she seemed to have a little bit more strength than some of the other Amazons there.
Well, yeah, she knocked that Antiope off her,
right,
on her ass,
right.
But so we get that, and then suddenly Diana's now, well, she's not Diana yet. Well, she is Diana, but she's not Diana Prince. She's just Diana, Princess of the Amazons.
She was always
Diana. But so she's now grown, and she fights, and and then we get Steve Trevor, who's on the run because he got caught stealing the book from what's her name, Dr. Poison.
Oh yeah, Dr. Isabelle Marou. Right.
And one thing I will say about her is, like, it's hard to see her face because she's wearing that mask, but hot damn was she gorgeous when she was in Van Helsing. You see, she was a Lyra, the one of the brides of Dracula in Van Helsing.
That's right, she was. It's funny. I just watched Van Helsing a couple of weeks ago too, in preparation for the Halloween
season.
Halloween season is watching Van Helsing, and I remember when Van Helsing came out in the movie theater, and I was working at, this is going to date me, but I was working at Blockbuster Video back then, and Van Helsing came out, and it was like, ooh, ah. And we went to Las Vegas. So it's a whole side story, but I know you guys love it. Just kidding. I don't think you guys love it. But anyway, went to Van Helsing, or went to Vegas, and they had a huge Van Helsing display, and two of the gals were there dressed just like the vampires.
The brides.
The brides in the movie. And I have a Polaroid picture of me with them in front of this whole Van Helsing. I mean, it was like a pretty elaborate. It wasn't just a backdrop, like a step and repeat type of thing. I mean, they built like the castle, kind of a small castle, looks like in the distance, and there was trees and everything else. So they really pushed that movie hard. But anyway, that's not part of the DCEU, Van Helsing. Although that would be interesting.
Yeah. But in any case, so she was the main bride of Dracula, and she, like, I mean, aside from the fact that she was gorgeous, she's a good actress.
Sure.
And it was just interesting to me because I didn't really see her in that much stuff. I don't know what else she's really done.
Yeah, we'd have to go back.
I'm looking up her name. Her name is Elena Anaya. Anaya. I don't know. So anyway, he got away from her. He escaped. The Germans followed him. They find the rift. It doesn't seem to me like Amazon Island, or whatever they're calling it, Themyscira.
Yeah.
In the comics, it was Amazon Island. In the movie, it's Themyscira.
They've been doing Themyscira for a while.
Yeah.
I think they named it. I think it eventually morphed into that in the comics, and then it went forward, because I remember in the Linda Carter one, I think it was still called Amazon Island.
Yeah.
But it has been Themyscira, I know, for a while.
Yeah. But in any case, it doesn't seem that well hidden. I mean, they got fog around it, but anyone can wander in. I'm amazed that it took 2,000 years or so for Chris Pine to fly in there accidentally.
Not a very good shielding there. It's more of a sort of cloaking device. I feel like Skull Island in the King Kong movie had better hiding with just some fog.
But okay, so he made it there, and then we have the
sweet little fight scene. Got to say, right there on the beach.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that was a good fight scene.
It was good. I liked again. I liked watching them fight because of all of them. I think, or most of the women who were playing the Amazons were soldiers in like they had military training,
right?
Or they were wrestlers. I think there were a few of them that were wrestlers or something. But
a lot of them were very athletic.
Yeah, and they all knew what they were doing. I remember when the movie came out, I think someone was complaining about how the outfits were too revealing and like what idiot would wear that in battle. And one of them, I don't remember who, but she was a wrestler and she was like, this is what I would want to wear to battle. It allows me full freedom of movement. It doesn't provide a lot of protection if I get hit with a sword. But the point is I won't be there where the sword hits because I'll be able to move out of the way.
Right.
Instead of with clunky armor where I have to take the sword because I can't move out of the way fast enough. I'm not a fighter. I don't have a lot of training, so I don't know. But that sounds plausible to me.
Right. So
I can't remember what I had for dinner last night, but I remember that interview.
I'm pretty sure you remember what you had for dinner last night. But anyway, Steve Trevor comes in again. I thought it was a cool little fight scene.
It was a cool fight scene,
and then they interrogate Steve.
Yeah,
he talks about the Great War and that type of thing, and that was her. Basically, she sees it as Ares. Diana, Wonder Woman, sees it as Ares,
that's when she starts her appeal of we have to stop Ares.
It was more than that.
We have to stop Ares.
That's something.
We have to stop Ares. Over and over again. Exactly the same tone. I'm sorry. It's just it's not.
It was not. No one. Don't listen to Josh. There was some emotion behind it. It wasn't completely monotone.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. I was there, watching the movie. It didn't move me. But neither did the scene after that where we had the gratuitous nude Steve scene.
And we always have to have a nude Steve scene. Yeah, you have to have a nude.
We have to have naked Chris Pine, and
or shirtless. We'll just say shirtless. It's just like
No, he was nude. I mean that's part of because they have to have the joke, the juvenile humor of her saying, "What's that?" And he looks down and then he's like, "Oh, you mean the watch?"
No, yeah, that's right. I thought it was funny. No, I didn't. Not really. It was juvenile. That was an eye-rolling moment where it's like, my lord.
This is where we're headed with Joss Whedon's version of Justice League.
Yeah.
And I hate to say that because a few years ago, Joss Whedon was my favorite writer because he did Firefly, which is like the best show of all time, or one of the best shows of all time. He did Buffy, which I didn't particularly care for, but so many people did love that. Firefly is my favorite show of all time. Buffy, not so much, but a lot of people love that show for the writing.
They're rebooting Buffy, but
I don't think he's part of it though.
I think as we get into this, I was reading and remembering that to bring this Wonder Woman movie to the screen was such a long process. Remember when back in I think it was the late 90s? Yeah, it was 99. It was all about Sandra Bullock becoming being Wonder Woman, and like that
I would have loved to see. I would have loved to see
and then it was Mariah Carey, Catherine Zeta-Jones were candidates.
Adrian Pilecki.
Well, she got the pilot. For the
show. It did not look good.
I watched it. It was interesting. It had nothing. It was so off comic book. Lucy Lawless was in there too. I mean, a lot of the gals as we went on, and then actually Whedon came on in 2005 to do Wonder Woman, and I guess they had the drafts of that screenplay was Steve Trevor was narrating, and then but he ended up leaving. Kate Beckinsale they had put in there, but Joss Whedon was like, the only person I can ever picture doing Wonder Woman is Angelina Jolie. And so they couldn't get her, so he bailed, and then
I wouldn't have been in. I don't think that would have gotten me. I'm not a big fan of Angelina Jolie. I would have loved to see Sandra Bullock. She's a good actress.
I remember there was a short time there in the mid 2000s where like people were putting up websites. They were fake websites of a movie poster, and they'd reveal it piece by piece over a couple of days. And they revealed a Wonder Woman with Megan Fox as Wonder Woman, and like that caused a lot of buzz.
Yeah.
And but that was,
she had the look too.
Yeah, it turned out to be like a complete and total. It was a total rumor.
Yeah.
It was just like
she's
not
a wonderful actress either. She's not bad, but she's better than Gal Gadot, but she's not great. I mean, of all the actresses that you talked about, Sandra Bullock would have been my favorite.
I don't think Sandra Bullock would have been. She's not a superhero type of actress.
No, but she's the best actress. I'm just saying, like, of all the people that you mentioned, she's my favorite actress. She's a good actress.
She is a good actress.
She's played many different parts, and she plays them all well. And that's how I define a good actor. If you can play a different type of person in every movie, you're a good actor. If you play every part the same, you're interesting, but you're not a good actor.
Yeah, I guess before Gal Gadot, I'm sorry, everybody, I'm gonna butcher it. Gal Gadot, she was actually offered the role of Faora Ul in Man of Steel before they gave her Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
which I found was rather interesting.
She would have been better at that too.
No, I wonder if they would have swapped them. That would have been.
I don't know, because that woman who played Faora, I forget her name. It's an Israeli name, because I think she's also Israeli, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember her name either, but
I can't remember her name. But
I did look it up when we did the Man of Steel episode, but now
there wasn't, like, she didn't act enough in the Man of Steel for me to really say if she was a good actress or not, because she barely says anything in that movie. Yet, although I think in those few lines that she had, she was more emotive than Gal Gadot. She at least I believed her.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't mean to be harping on her so badly, but I don't think she's a good actress, and the more I watch her, the less I like her.
Right. I think that so coming back to the movie, when Diana leaves with Steve Trevor, they go out there. The General Ludendorff.
Yes, this is one of the people that I was talking about before.
Okay,
I didn't mean to cut you off, but
no. I think I may have cut you off, but let's stop apologizing and let's just get into it, dude.
Well, one of the things that I was saying right away was that I said before, I think that the supporting cast was better than the main cast, and part of it is because Danny Huston is Ludendorff.
Yep.
Danny Huston, I've been a huge fan of him since 30 Days a Night. Which is amazing, because in 30 Days a Night, he doesn't even speak except in like that guttural vampire language.
Right.
But still, that was amazing. He's good. Him and Robin Wright, of course, and David Thewlis, who will always be Professor Lupin. But he's also like a phenomenal actor.
So just to throw it out there, I like David. Like, I like the movie Dragonheart. If you haven't seen it, you guys need to watch it.
Oh yeah, I've seen it.
Dennis
Quaid. It's
been a
long time. Yeah, it's been a long time.
And David Thewlis was the bad guy in that one, and he was awesome.
Yeah,
in that one. But
David Thewlis is another guy that I think is a really good actor. He plays different parts differently, the way he should, the way an actor should. Actually, in this movie, when he's playing his alter ego, what's the name? Morgan, I think is his name.
Sir Patrick Morgan.
Sir Patrick Morgan. Yeah, he when he is Sir Patrick Morgan, he actually comes off a little bit too much like Professor Lupin. But I suspect that was probably on purpose by what's her name? Jenkins. Patty Jenkins. I suspect that she told him to act like that because it would throw people off, so that they wouldn't know this is Ares in disguise, instead.
I feel like everybody kind of guessed it. I mean, I kind of did. And I know a lot of people after the movie came out, it was kind of like, well, yeah, it was, obvious.
Yeah, but they played it off as a surprise, and
they did.
and I don't know for sure. I wasn't there, but I could see that happening where they would cast someone like him who knows how to play a part of the unassuming but brilliant professor like Lupin,
Right.
and it would set people like at ease. He's another good guy. He's the guy who's helping them, and then he turns out to be the bad guy. So I really was more intrigued with when he reveals himself to be Ares, and he starts, going off on her. That's when it really intrigued me, and not because I didn't like him as Lupin. I loved him as Lupin,
right?
But I've seen that before.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, they go. So they find out that they're gonna go gas the Western Front. They go out there, even though they're not supposed to. Morgan's like, "Yeah, go ahead," and then they get the gang together. What is it, Captain America's Howling Commandos?
Yeah, they basically do the same thing.
Yeah, with less people and not as howling.
Fewer people and they're not howling or mad. Although one of them is kind of, they're kind of mad. But
I do like the scene where she, takes it upon herself to go across no man's land to go get the enemy trench as she starts whooping some ass.
Yeah, but before we get to that, something I did want to mention.
Oh, go ahead.
I didn't mean to kind of bypass this, but when they're in London, it's another fish out of water story.
Oh, where she's getting the dress.
Yeah, and the
comedy relief secretary.
Yeah. Etta Candy, I liked her more than Diana, but also, I like the whole scene is just it's so tired.
Is there anybody you like less than Gal Gadot in this movie?
In this movie, no.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
No.
All right.
In this movie, definitely not. In like acting in general, yeah, I'm sure that.
No, I meant in this movie.
In this movie, no, I think Gal Gadot is the biggest problem.
Wow.
I think that the movie would have been elevated by a stronger actress. I think the movie might have been better. But I don't like the fish out of water story, and this is actually not something I blame on her. I just blame it on the writing. It's been done so many times, and this is kind of half-hearted. Almost like they're throwing it in because they have to. Because the fish out of water story has been done so many times before. Again, in Captain America, it happens, and it does it better.
But I will say this for whatever it's worth, technicality, semantics, whatever, fill in the blank with that word, is that she is the fish out of water. It's not even that. It's not even that they're trying to make you think that. She's lived on this island that's been under a Klingon cloaking device all these years, right?
Yeah.
And
Klingon cloaking devices actually work. But...
Whatever. But so she's been living on Wakanda where they can lower the shield. I'm just kidding.
No, I mean I understand. Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
So the fish out of water scene, I think, is I guess where I'm going and making all these little comments is that it is appropriate in this case.
It makes sense.
It does fit with the storyline. It's not just a throw in.
Yes, it does make sense, and that's not my complaint. The problem is that they do it in such a tired way that's been done over and over again. I think that there would have been better ways for them to do it without it being just a rehash of every other fish out of water story.
Well, I don't know how they would have done it without it being cliche. It just is. You've got a strong female character who's going to do her strong female character things.
Yeah, but now she's
how would it not be? Well, right, but
I don't know. It's because I'm not the writer here, but I just didn't like it. I thought it was boring, and I was looking forward to it being over. I mean, it's like the Brady Bunch. I've complained about that movie before too. Not that I'm a huge fan of the original show of the Brady Bunch, but it was a sitcom, but it took itself seriously. There was nothing unusual about them, except for the fact that it was a dad with 3 boys, a mom with 3 girls. They get married, and now they have 8 people plus a maid living in the same house. Whatever are they going to do? It's like this huge situation. But that's all. There's nothing unusual about them. Then they remake them in the 90s. They made the Brady Bunch movies, and they decided to make them still stuck in the 70s, even though now it's the 90s. For some odd reason, not even the 70s, it's the 60s, right? And now they're fish out of water stories.
Right.
And it's kind of like it was just as inspired as that. It's like, let's do a fish out of water story.
I still think
what's the easiest thing we can do? We'll do shorthand for fish out of water.
Yeah, but like I said, it
makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense in this storyline, regardless of whether it's cliche or not. I think the problem is the reason it's so cliche and it's a fish out of water story is because we've gotten so many of them that don't have anything to do with anything, that when we get one where it's like, hey, here's this woman, she lived on this island, now she's in this society, she has to learn these things. It's an appropriate thing, but we've been so saturated with them.
You okay?
Yeah, I'll edit that out. Is that no? I will. Is that
please do?
I will. Is that we've gotten a lot of those, and I think it's just an oversaturated plot
I think you're
point
right.
or plot gimmick or whatever you want to call it. And if then when you get one that's legitimate to the storyline and helps the character grow or develop or whatever, fill in the blank there, it loses its worth to the story and to the character because like I said, we've been saturated with these things.
Yeah, I think you're right, and maybe my complaint isn't even that valid, but I'm only talking about what I saw, and when I watched the movie, it bothered me because I was kind of like, I've seen this, I don't want to see it again. I kind of wanted to fast forward past it, and that's why I was more entertained by the character of Etta Candy, trying to carry the sword and the shield and like barely being able to hold them together. And I didn't care.
I would have loved to have seen her like in the alleyway. She just suddenly comes in and is like, oh, and she just like starts swinging the sword and hacking. That would have changed the dynamic of the movie. That would have been pretty cool.
I remember there was one scene, one line of hers that I really liked, which was when Diana was trying on all of those clothes, and at one point she wears one that has like the collar, and she's like, it feels like someone's choking me, and Etta Candy's like, oh, I can't imagine why, because at this point she's probably gone through like 100 different clothes, and even Etta is like at the end.
Oh yeah.
So that actually made
it was a funny little scene, and.
So getting back to what you were talking about with the where she goes up onto no man's land. I mean, the scene was good. Again, there's not much to it, but I enjoyed watching it because it's where she starts coming into her own, and these guys who've been doubting her, the stand-ins for the Howling Commandos, they get to see her actually do her thing. But I think what I noticed the most about that scene, and I should mention it now, is the soundtrack. I like the music in that scene because that was the inspiring music. And this is a composer I'm not very familiar with, Rupert Gregson Williams. No relation to John Williams, I assume. And as much as I like him, he's nowhere near as good as John Williams. But I liked his soundtrack. And that was a good scene. I like the music in that scene where she storms no man's land.
Yeah, actually, that was. He did Hacksaw Ridge. He did the B movie. He did Aquaman and Aquaman, in the Lost Kingdom. He did a Winter's Tale. He did the Road
to El Dorado.
I love the Road to El Dorado. What? How do you not know the Road to El Dorado?
I never heard of it.
Everybody send Josh hate mail for not watching the Road to El Dorado.
I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry.
Right. He did Grown Ups too. Yeah, he's had Hubie Halloween.
And one of the worst movies of all time, You Don't Mess with the Zohan.
Oh, I love You Don't Mess with the Zohan.
That's
just stupid fun.
Okay, so that's what I was saying. I really like the music and the scene. I'm not that familiar with that guy. What's his name? I just said it and now I forgot his name.
Rupert Gregson Williams.
Yes, that guy. So I like the music, and I will also say this before I forget. And since we're on the topic of music, I do like that electric guitar Wonder Woman theme, which we heard the first time in Batman versus Superman, but we heard it a few times in this movie as well. And
it's very distinctive very distinctive and very much, that's that character's theme.
Yeah.
Just like no matter what happens with any Batman, although The Batman with Robert Pattinson is it's got its own theme too, but the Danny Elfman one's always going to be synonymous, just like the Superman theme,
because it was used predominantly not just in the Michael Keaton Batman movies, but also in the animated series, which are some of the best animated series of all time.
Right.
But they barely used it in the DCEU, except for like a gratuitous use of it once in the theatrical version of Justice League.
Right, but Rupert Gregson-Williams also did, and we'll get there with Aquaman. I thought the music for Aquaman was really awesome. They did some really cool, like when he first gets to, I know we're jumping out of this a little bit, but when he gets to Atlantis and they're playing that, I don't know, it was totally giving like 70s.
I don't remember it at all.
Oh, well, when you watch it again. Anyway, I think
I'm going to watch it again before we review that movie. I'm going to watch it again. So
yeah, that was, I will say this, aside from Wonder Woman, which was a good movie, kind of fun-ish in parts, but I think with Aquaman, I thought Aquaman was the most fun, lighthearted summer movie. Just but anyway, we'll get there. But I thought, and the only reason I bring that up is because I feel like out of any of the DCEU, I think Aquaman 1, I didn't mind Aquaman 2 that much, but Aquaman 1 and Wonder Woman, not Wonder Woman 84, but this Wonder Woman and Aquaman were the two best movies to come out of the out of this whole DCEU thing, other than Man of Steel. But we won't go down that road because you already bagged on that movie all the way through.
Yeah. So I was all set. You almost had me ready to start bagging on it.
So let's not go there. I'm just saying that. Okay, fine. Man of Steel aside, because we already did that episode. I think Wonder Woman and Aquaman are pretty top tier out of this whole thing.
Yeah, I agree. I think Wonder Woman is probably the best movie in the DCU, in my own opinion. Except for Zack Snyder's version of Justice League, which I think knocks it out of the park.
I agree. I think we both agree on that. So anyway, let's go back to Wonder Woman. So
after No Man's Land, we get the No Man's Land.
Right.
There's lots of sand in No Man's Land, but
I hate sand. It's coarse. It gets everywhere.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Had to be said.
Had to be said.
So after that we get the party. There's really not a whole lot else to say.
Well, this is the part where they have to get the Diana Steve fall in love.
Yeah.
She's seen a penis once for about 5 seconds. It's funny because Wikipedia says the team briefly celebrates taking a photograph in the village where Diana and Steve fall in love. I'm like, wow, that's movie magic. It's like quicker than 90 Day Fiancé. Anyway,
how long have they known each other?
Yeah.
At this point, a day?
No, it's like, I think it's like a couple of, like maybe 2 days. So,
okay.
But
that's normal time for someone to fall in love.
In a movie, yeah.
Yeah,
and
in
then,
a movie.
Then they go to that party at Ludendorff's thing to kill him because she thinks he's Ares. And Steve wants
Chris, Chris Pine acts like Chris Pine in front of Alira, and
in front of Alira. You mean Maru?
Yeah, Dr. Poison.
Yeah,
he's flirting with her, and she's like not interested, and it would have been more interesting if she was interested, I think.
Yeah,
but I don't know. In any case, I'm actually not sure what the point of that was, really. Like throwing in the whole Steve flirting with her.
Was Diana trying to get close? It was one of those scenes where, as a plot point, it caused a rift between the two of them. And he's gonna go on and do his mission, and she's like, no, and then she kills him after he snorts the glowing steroids.
Yeah, but first she tries to kill him, and then he gets away, and he bombs the village,
and that they just saved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it was pretty sweet though when she launched through that clock tower.
Yeah. That was
pretty BA. And then she has her little similar to Batman versus Superman, his little Batman's Arkham scene, which is sick. No one else is gay, that was a sweet little scene where he fights all the guys in there to save Martha. But in Batman versus Superman, when Batman comes in and fights all the guys, and then you've got so like she has that one slow-mo scene too when she's fighting back at the Thing. But that scene with the whole thing is Steve trying to get close. It's just a setup to be like, oh, now there's a rift between Steve. Diana's like, I know he's the he's guy.
Ares, and Steve stops her, and so now she's mad at him. And then she goes to save the village, and he tries to stop her. And again, there's a bigger rift, and they go their separate ways. And she's going to the front, and he goes to the front separately, and then they both end up there.
Right? They basically end up there. Because
but she gets to fight, and then she fights.
Yeah,
well,
she
first
fights.
She kills.
Yeah, she kills Ludendorff, like I said, after he snorts the magic roids, and then the fighting doesn't stop. And I was like, I felt like, I don't know if they really played it up well, but there was a naiveness there on Diana's part, and Steve's trying to be like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there could be, we really could have made more of a social commentary, not that we necessarily needed it, but on human nature by itself, that I think Steve does kind of say something along those lines where it's just like, people are not always good. It doesn't have to be Ares.
But they go back on that. Like that, but the movie itself,
right? It does. It goes back.
Acts like it is all Ares, because when she does defeat Ares, we got Nazis hugging the American soldiers, and being like, oh, why were we fighting? Oh.
And then right after Sir Patrick, right after Ludendorff dies, you got Sir Patrick coming in, and he gives the whole backstory about how he's built this war up and everything else, and that's where she finds out she's.
And he says he didn't have to do anything because the humans will do it themselves.
Yeah. Well, he mentioned how he'd have to whisper in an ear here and throw a little thing over here, and so. Then she goes to stab him with the God Killer, and it shatters, and he's like, "Oh, you're the God Killer." Which, if you're a god, would you really want to tell a person who could kill gods? Like, hey, did you not know you're a God Killer?
Yeah, why are you trying to kill me with that? When you have the power to kill me, why?
Yeah, hi, I'm going to tell you that you can kill me. I just want to let you know.
Yeah.
So
great idea.
Yeah. So, they start duking it out. I know that a lot of people, there was a lot of issues, and I swear that they kind of reshot, I thought, some of that scene, but there was a lot of people had issue with Ares and how he was portrayed, because he is a pretty big character, not just in Wonder Woman, but he crosses over into a couple of different ones. But there was something about his, and I can't remember what it was. I was trying to look it up earlier. But it's something about like his armor and the way they portrayed him. And I think there was a reshoot of the whole thing. And that people weren't totally happy with that. I don't know whether it was that he couldn't come out with his armor, his actual comic book, more accurate costume. And he just kind of pulls metal to himself and forms his armor. I don't know. I have to look that.
I don't know. But, I hadn't heard much about that. But I don't read the comics that much, and I don't trust when people get angry. A lot of times when people get angry at a movie like this over reasons, a lot of times I can't take it seriously, because ever since I heard this guy I heard about this guy who argued with his professor, because the professor was talking about all the kids that Zeus had, and all the children that Zeus had fathered. And this guy's like, no, Zeus only had one kid, and it was Hercules. Because this kid's whole knowledge of Zeus came from the Disney movie Hercules.
Right. Yeah. And whereas Zeus...
Someone responded, it would be a shorter list to talk about the number of kids that Zeus didn't father.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, hell, even in the Percy Jackson books, it talks about that they all had several kids, and it's I can't believe it's like, oh, we found another kid. Like in Percy Jackson, they'd be like, oh, he's a demigod, let's bring him to camp. I'm like, they can't even keep track of their kids. There's so many of them.
Yeah.
I mean, jeez, the guy's like, it's crazy.
So when people are complaining about things like that because they got all their knowledge from the Disney movie, So if someone's complaining about this guy's armor, I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, he doesn't look anything like he did in the game God of War.
Yeah, it was. I was just trying to read Ares right now, but yeah, it was like in the comic book, Ares actually had like 3 or 4 forms. I think it was one of those things where I think they kept Ares true in that, it's not like they did, as we talked about before, it's not like they effed him up like they did with like Doomsday, or effed him up like they did with Bane in Batman and Robin. You know what I mean? Or any of that stuff. They at least kind of kept him that way, but they did sort of simplify him and didn't give him his true potential and stuff like that. But yeah, and then as you mentioned way back when we started the podcast, it's Steve flies off, has his moment.
Does something noble. He finally does something in the movie, and
I think he does a lot in the movie, and I think that there's enough backstory to be like, yeah, he's really trying to fight the good fight. Undoubtedly.
Oh yeah. I'm not saying he's not a good guy. I just don't think he does much in the movie. Like in the course of the movie, we don't really see him do a whole lot, except babysit Diana. He doesn't really get into.
He does more than babysit Diana. He does more than babysit. Let's just be realistic here.
But but the point is that like he doesn't do a lot of fighting in the movie until the end. Like what did he do?
Right.
I'm thinking about it. I don't really like, other than the fight scene on the beach.
His goal is that
he wanted to get to the front because he wanted to stop the war, but he doesn't really do
but he has a noble. He's like on a super big quest. To go stop that.
Yeah, and I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm just saying he doesn't really do much in the course of the movie. But here he does something. He gets into the plane, and he makes the decision. Well, before he got into the plane, but he made the decision that he was going to blow the plane up himself in the air so that it wouldn't affect everyone. The mustard gas.
Right.
The super mustard gas.
Yeah.
With extra relish.
I guess they were trying to keep it under wraps. Again, I'm kind of reaching here a little bit. What? No, I'm sorry. I'm still stuck on the Ares thing. Is they were trying to keep it under wraps, and it leaked out that he was playing Ares. So I think that was one of the reasons they kind of changed it. But yeah, I don't know. I wish I could talk more about it. I know I keep harping on it, but I think it's just an interesting point of, contention. It's like when we talked about Man of Steel, and it was like everybody had a cow about Superman breaking General Zod's neck, and this was the same. This is like the same thing where it's just like, well, Ares, blah, blah, blah. And I apologize to everybody. I didn't have the data necessary to speak to this, but I know that there was
some contention.
Yeah. Like here, they're like, yeah, it's not Ares. It's more somebody cosplaying as Ares.
Oh, that's exactly how I felt about Henry Cavill as Superman.
Yeah. So it's funny because we were talking about, that people are people, and David Thewlis's character, Sir Patrick talks about like, oh, people will handle it on their own. But then it is like when they finally kill Ares and the sun comes out there, and then it's like it's like a spell's broken. If you look at the soldiers, they're like, what? What's happening? What have I been doing this entire
they're
time?
like helping each other up and like hugging, like everything's okay. And this is after Ares said, like, I didn't have to do anything. They just are awful to each other all on their own.
I mean,
which actually sounds accurate.
Does World War I end right there? I don't know. I mean, they don't say. Or is it just that one little battle where he's like, yeah, we're gonna,
they don't
everybody's
say.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. They don't really talk about it because they got to end the movie.
Right.
And almost nothing happens after that. Like they get up, Dr. Poison is almost like she just disappears. She's she almost gets killed by Diana. She's like holds the car up above her, and then she decides not to kill her. And that's it. We never see her again. So there is no retribution against Dr. Poison. And then Ares dies, everyone gets better, and we just do the end of the flashback where now she's back in the present and
right at the museum.
Yeah, and she says that she's been gone for a while and now she's going to be back, but they never explain why was she gone.
Yeah, I know. I guess she took a hiatus for like,
yeah, she's been
in the world,
but not doing anything.
Like 90 years, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's sitting in a dark room crying over Steve.
Yeah, what happened during World War II? Did she step into that one? I don't even know.
Apparently not. Apparently not. She was too busy. I mean,
she does.
Steve.
She does the typical hero money shot at the end where she's like jumping at the camera.
With her fist out and the sword and they play the guitar.
Yeah, which is a great theme. We've already established that.
Yeah.
That theme is pretty fire. That's fire.
But yeah, and so it's just like I said, it's Captain America. Only Captain America was done better.
Yeah.
So I think that's the thing.
Captain America is a better movie, but Wonder Woman was still really good.
I liked Wonder Woman. I despite the fact I know I keep talking about how much I didn't like her, but I mean, like the movie itself, I don't think it's a bad movie. I just don't think it's a great movie, and I think I would have liked it more if I hadn't seen Captain America first. But it's just a pale version of Captain America.
So if I use that logic, right, is that if Wonder Woman had came out first, then Captain America, would you say Wonder Woman was better?
No, because Captain America did it better. Like, it's a better movie, not because it came first. It's just like more interesting, and I don't know. Like, there's so many more things to talk about. If we talk, well, right now the plan is we are eventually going to get to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I guarantee we're going to have more to talk about when we talk about Captain America.
100% we're going to have more to talk about.
Yeah, because that's one of my favorite movies in the Marvel. It's not my absolute favorite, but it's one of my favorite movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
It is.
I like the Winter Soldier. The Winter Soldier is even
better.
Yeah, and Endgame. If we're talking about all of them, but
Endgame it's Endgame. It's awesome.
Yeah, and Infinity War, like they're top of the top. But as the movies go, Captain America: The First Avenger is definitely up there. It's not like number 20. It's up in the top 10.
I can't even believe though it's been 8 years since Wonder Woman came out.
Well, I was thinking about
how Tron Ares is coming out next month in October, right? Which I will so be there for that. But I mean, we lived through Tron 1. We were alive in the late 1900s.
Oh yeah.
So, but
1982, 1983.
Tron Legacy, which I totally loved. It's been 15 years.
I enjoyed
since that movie came out.
Think about Iron Man. We're
17 years ago.
To 20. Yeah, we're getting close to 20 years since Iron Man started the whole superhero resurgence.
Yep.
There were superhero movies obviously before Iron Man, even recently before Iron Man, but Iron Man began this whole superhero zeitgeist that became a huge thing, where superhero movies weren't big events that happened once in a while. Suddenly, superhero movies were part of, like, it's Tuesday. There's a superhero movie coming out.
Yeah, exactly. But that was also back in the days where midnight shows were the thing.
Yeah.
Dude, I miss a good midnight show. Going to the movie theater to see the latest Marvel movie. No, dude,
you can still do it, but it'll be the fourth episode. It'll be the fourth showing of the movie, but you can still go at midnight.
No, I don't. We don't have any midnight movies out here.
Oh, really?
In the state that I live in, which shall remain nameless, so people don't track me down.
Yeah, I'm sure that everyone is looking for you, dude.
the 10 people that listen to the podcast. Yeah. One day it'll explode.
Yeah.
We should we should get Henry Cavill on here to guess with us.
Actually, if I had my choice of like anyone that I would want to have on this podcast, you're gonna think I'm absolutely nuts. Michael Rosenbaum.
Oh, Lex Luthor from Smallville?
Yeah, I mean, he already has a podcast. He and Tom Welling have a podcast where they talk about Smallville and like the making of it and stuff. I don't really listen to podcasts much, but every now and then I'll see clips of it and stuff.
Yeah.
But he is really well spoken. He's extremely intelligent. I would love to have him on this show. But I'm sure he has better things to do than to talk with two losers who have nothing better to do than talk about how much I don't like Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot. I'm totally gonna look that up and see if that's how we pronounce it.
If I've been saying it wrong, I apologize. Even to her.
Don't apologize. I'm gonna cut this part down anyway. All right, what else? Are we good?
I think that's it. I can't think of anything else to talk about this movie. Except one thing. It is, compared to Wonder Woman 1984, this is Oscar worthy.
I agree with you on that, but we'll get to Wonder Woman 1984.
Do we have to?
Well, it'll be a 10-minute podcast. It'll be just being like trash. This thing sucked. What a disappointment.
I was thinking we could skip it, because if we're going to talk about it at all, that means I got to watch it again.
Maybe we can combine it up with another one.
What? How do you what? It still means watching it again.
You don't have to watch it.
Yeah, okay. I do. I can't talk about a movie without seeing it, and I've seen it once.
Dude, Wonder Woman 84 is the Spider-Man 3 of...
No, Spider-Man 3 was better than this. Okay, Spider-Man 3...
Barely.
Spider-Man 3 has some watchable scenes. A few scenes that are even legitimately funny. Some are ironically funny, but Spider-Man 3 has some value. Wonder Woman 1984 has absolutely no value whatsoever. There is nothing good about this movie. This movie hates you. This movie hates me. This movie hates your priest. This movie hates your dog.
It hates your rabbi.
This movie is just a slee stack. And it's like...
Do not knock the slee stacks. They were awesome.
Yeah, even the slee stacks were less campy than this movie.
They were like...
There is exactly
that slee stack for this thing's a pile.
There is exactly one thing in Wonder Woman 1984 that I liked. Exactly one thing. And it was Linda Carter's appearance in the post-credit scene.
I was going to say, you're not going to say Pedro Pascal, because I like Pedro Pascal, but I did not like him in that movie.
No, nothing could save that movie except Linda Carter. And I can't decide if I was happier at the fact that I was seeing Linda Carter or the movie was over.
Yeah, I know. They both happened almost simultaneously, so yeah.
Yeah. I don't like ragging on movies, but that's not
do.
A movie. I don't know.
You like ragging on Gal Gadot's acting ability.
Well, yeah. That deserves a movie all on its own.
Oh my Lord, this is a documentary.
A documentary. How Not to Act 101.
Black hole acting. When you suck in all emotion.
Yeah.
All right, you want to close this out then?
Yeah, I guess we'll have to close it out. I do apologize if you know.
Don't apologize. I'm going to edit most of this out.
I don't want to offend anyone, though. I mean, like, if you liked it, I'd love to hear from you. And I'm not saying I didn't like it. I did like it. I just didn't like it as much as a lot of other movies. Bob liked it a lot more than I did, so, you know, you can latch on to him. But again, this whole show, the whole purpose of this is for us to agree to disagree. We're respectful about it, and I don't think ill of anyone who thinks this movie is absolutely wonderful or who thinks it's worse than I ever thought it was. I'm happy to hear from you. Or we're happy to hear from you. I didn't mean to neglect you.
No, just send it all to Josh. Just kidding.
Okay, you can send it to me. Yeah. Next week we're going to talk about Justice League. This, I guess what we're going to do, are we going to focus on?
We are doing the Snyder cut, and then using the theatrical cut for comparison. I am going to trash on the theatrical cut.
I'm going to
while we talk about the Snyder one.
I am going to bite the bullet and
don't do it. Don't.
I'm going to rewatch the theatrical version. I don't feel like I can talk accurately about how much I didn't like it unless I watch it again. And for what it's worth, it's not as bad as Wonder Woman 1984. I mean, there were some things I liked.
I'll give you that. I think we each smoke a bowl and drink a fifth of whiskey. I'll smoke a bowl. You drink a fifth of whiskey.
I don't drink.
Oh, dang it. What do? Do some meth. Something. You got to watch you got to let it get in there. And so I don't just, you know what? Drinks a bunch of cough medicine then. And then watch the movie.
I'll drink like 15 energy drinks in a row.
No, dude. You know what? Just pop a Benadryl, the normal dosage, so you're slightly lulled while you're watching it, and it won't hit you. It won't hit you as hard.
The point is that
speaks a lot.
We will talk about Justice League next week. I can tell you that I remember the theatrical cut. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. It was kind of like the underachiever, and then when I watched Zack Snyder's, it was a whole different ballgame. Despite the fact that a lot of it is the same, it's just a completely different movie. So that is coming up next week. I'm looking forward to that.
Yes.
That's our show for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't already done so, please hit like and subscribe. Thank you again for everything. And as always, make tomorrow better than yesterday.